Oh, jeez. That's wrong on every front. I mean, every front. Oh, Lord.
But
and the Queen, my God, might as well.
Let's go with that, with those ambiguous remarks.
The direction you
Dennis,
were
my
going,
friend,
it may
it's
be
been-
as good as it gets.
It's been only a week, really.
Only a week?
I mean-
only a week?
As is my custom, I have been to a different country since we've spoken last.
Let's see. Let me think if I can remember.
Yes,
I saw.
because you're all like spying up on me on the Facebooks.
Yeah, I saw. Were you on an
France.
island somewhere?
France.
No.
So I turns out I can drive for 2 hours and be in fucking France,
Right, that's where you were. Right.
and it's
2 hours, and you didn't know
it's
this?
wild that like we had these plans to meet with my friends. I have these friends that I met online back when I was blogging, and they were blogging, and we became like, we commented on each other's blog posts and stuff, and then Facebook happened, and we were chatting on Facebook, in the early days, and it was just like, hey, we clearly like each other and make each other laugh or whatever, and so 12 plus years ago, 13 years ago, we'll say, I decided, hey, let's go and see my friends that live in Brussels.
13 years ago?
Yeah, 12 and a half, yeah. And it was in October. And they live in Brussels. They work for the European Union. So, like, they're government drones. But, and so I bought these tickets for my wife and me to go and see these friends. And my wife at the time was pregnant with my son, and was like, I can't possibly travel, I feel too shitty. And so, as an amazing husband and father that I am, I was like, all right, well, see ya. And
That was 13 years ago?
yeah, and so
Really, you went? How pregnant was she?
she was about halfway.
Well, she convinced you to go. didn't she?
Well, yeah, and so I was like, all right, see ya. I'm gonna go and celebrate my birthday with these friends in Brussels, and so I went, and it's so amazing. Like, you may not have had this experience from your generation, but I've had several times where I have been friends with someone online, and we just get along, and then we meet in person, and it's like, oh, well, you're slightly taller than I thought, or slightly shorter than I thought, but immediately we have this chemistry, like we've been friends forever, in a way that you don't get just meeting people on the street. Like, you,
right.
You need to build up that, but like, that's a thing you can do online, and then when you get together, you like have all of these shared in jokes and shit.
Yeah.
Already built in.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that? Have you met someone?
No.
Okay. No. But that's the thing I've done several times, probably 20 at this point, where like I got together with them and we immediately clicked, and it was like, whoa, you have a British accent. Like, I knew you were British, but like, you have a British accent in a way that I don't read your comments with a British accent. Like
Yeah,
you,
right,
like you
of
have.
course. So tell me this. So you went again your birthday this time?
No. So okay, here. Okay.
I thought it was
So
connected to your birthday this year. Didn't you just have a birthday?
No, my birthday's in October. So
Yeah.
when I went to go see them, I celebrated my birthday with them. But then they quickly returned the visit and came to come and see us. And they saw us right when my son was just a 4-week-old infant. Like he was just a tiny, tiny baby, like much like you were talking about with your grandkids. But like that was 12 years ago, and I haven't seen them since in person. And so they reached out to me just out of the blue last week and said, "Hey, we're going to be in the south of France."
Oh.
And it just occurred to us that we're not that far from you. And I was like, yeah, that's like a 2-hour drive away. We should totally get together. And so the plan was for my entire family to go to have a lunch with them and hang out with them with my 2 friends that are more or less my age and their son, who is exactly my daughter's age, and they have a couple of their kids that are older, but to just have a nice lunch together and meet and then go our separate ways. But it turned out that my son, who is 12 years old now, that was the baby before, had like this fever thing going on last week, and like it was clear that he couldn't go, so therefore his mother needed to stay home with him. And then like my sister-in-law came over to spend the last few days with my daughter, to say goodbye before my daughter goes off to the U.S.
Right.
And so
You said,
it turned out.
"See ya."
It turned so I did the same thing again. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go
13
myself.
years later.
Yeah. So
That's funny.
history repeated itself.
And neither
But, like,
one planned at all. I mean, not
not really. So
You had
they were
nothing
totally
really to do with it, right?
Yeah. So, and we went back. Like the place that I went to was this town that's my kids and I and my parents had spent like a week, because my parents came one time and they were like 2 years ago, and they were like, we're gonna rent this Airbnb in this little French town, and we're just gonna live in this little French town. So like, I know this town really well, and like it's only 2 hours away, but like it's a place that I've gone to stay for a whole week. Like,
Oh, really? What's the
yeah.
name of it?
Saint John de Luz. It's a Saint John of Light in English.
John Duluth.
Yes.
Cool.
And
So you overnight or 2 nights or?
no. So I just went for lunch.
Oh,
Like I drove there in the morning and I had lunch with them and I came back.
oh, no
which
kidding.
Is
Because
kind
of
of
all the
mind
stuff
blowing
going
that I can just go for lunch in France, right? Like to my American mind, that is
Yeah.
crazy. That I can I'll just pop over to France.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of wild. But it was a lovely reconnection. They, again, like, for sure, even though you don't have the internet version of this, but like that you've got friends that you can have not seen for 15 years, and you get together and it's just like you were there
Oh, yeah.
with each other yesterday.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
like that.
That's how
That
how
chemistry
my
that
friends
just
are
clicks.
in North Carolina.
Yeah. So
And
it's so
also
beautiful.
Some of my friends in Dunkirk, and frankly, not much different in many ways with my brothers.
Yeah.
Although it's a completely different kind of connection, but still, it's that.
Sure.
total acceptance and
But
feel like-
it's wild, and also like because we sort of follow each other's lives on the social networks, it's like, oh, so how's your kid doing in the soccer league this year or whatever, like because like Facebook and such gives just enough of a glimpse that you can feel like you have not been apart. Like it's not like, so
it's a common occurrence. It's a
or
natural.
just like, so tell me about how your kid is doing, and if the person was like, yeah, my kid, has cancer or whatever, and it's like, whoa, like or like whatever, like that's super dark, but like just what because you're generally aware of the general shape of other people's lives, and I am not very good at keeping up with the Facebooks much lately, but like nothing that they told me surprised me.
Yeah,
but it
right.
was
Well, you've had a long distance virtual relationship. I mean, you with that type of
it started that
relationship,
way.
you can imagine why this growing percentage of teenagers are using AI as their friends.
That's a
It's
I
the
like your pivot,
same
but
kind
it's
of thing where you get information coming in and you get to imagine it any way you want. I mean,
It's not just
particularly if you
teenagers.
haven't met the person. In this case, but there's many virtual relationships that maybe don't know what each other looks like.
I mean,
although that's hard
okay,
to
so taking out AI, like the modern version of that, like 15 years ago, there was this fear of, oh, a child is online talking to another person that is claiming to be a child, and
yeah.
it turns out that they're actually a 52-year-old man.
Predator.
Who, or probably predator, yes. And then it's like, hey, let's meet up at the park and do our ponytails together. And then, the worst possible thing imagine happens. Like, I wonder how many actual times that happened versus how many times we could imagine that it happened. Like, it's one of those things like the guy in the van with the candy that, like, takes away a child. Like, that probably never happened more than 20 times, but boy, did we talk about it like it was
You've got
5,000.
You've got statistics which will tell that story quite specifically, but keep in mind that the effect of that type of crime is so much broader than virtually any other type of crime because it affects the entire community, not just a neighborhood, but if it's a city, because those types of that level of tragedy is so spectacularly painful, it's big news, as opposed to...
Well, and that's the other thing about it, the big news aspect. Like, I have a very distinct memory of everyone in Spain talking about how there was this girl that was taken from a bus stop and was never seen again or whatever, and like it was like, oh my god, like we have to watch over our children, like what is this, we have to be super careful. And then it was because there was like CCTV footage of this happening in Siberia. Like, this happened one time, but there was this footage of it, and it made for good television and good fear-mongering television, that it was broadcast everywhere, such that people became scared in places where that was very unlikely to happen.
But the parents, as you well know, parents don't live in the world of likely or unlikely. They live in the world of possible or impossible. It's a little bit. Now, the level of vigilance that you have with your children as they progress in age is somewhat variable, but we were parents that when we had 2 or 3-year-olds, we always wanted them in our sight in
Right.
any public place, not because so much of that fear, but the fear of getting lost, which has got its own.
And how many times did that happen?
Twice, 4 kids.
Where the kid got lost and
lost momentarily, at least, and panic.
So
long enough that the panic hit. That's all. Has that never happened to you? That you've had that panic? Because if it hasn't, then you can't imagine what I mean.
I don't really love my children. No, the
I was just asking whether you experienced it.
I mean, yes, I have had panic of, oh, I thought that my toddler was over there and now I don't see her in my line of sight at all. But that's okay. So in your case, did the child think they were lost? Which is a different question.
No.
Okay, so it was just the parents got a little discombobulated about where the kid was, but the kid was fine.
Well, recently my granddaughter was lost, and I came upon her. We were in a amphitheater, and she was a performer, and somehow when she got off stage, where her dad was to pick her up at a designated spot, they missed each other. So I found her in the hallway, and when she saw me, she was lost, and she cried, and she burst into tears, and she said, "Oh, where's my daddy?" And that feeling, on her part was.
Yes, but
No one else felt that way.
Okay. But we cannot equate that to abduction and rape and murder, right? So like
there's a continuum of fears that have to do with separation of your children, and if that's a general category of conceptual dialogue, then yeah, I mean, it's one thing. One would say it's one thing to lose sight of your kid for a second, have a couple of heartbeats of panic because you don't know where they are, and then jumping way into the worst possible thing that can happen, which actually is very rare given the number of children, given the number of outings, given the number of incidents, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
But one, if it happens to you, is the one that ruins your life. And so that potential is either strong or less strong in any parent. But in less with me than my wife, for example. I don't want a kid being lost because I don't want a kid being lost. She would go to the worst extreme as to what could happen. And maybe that's not just her, but all mothers. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, we've had this because I live in this like peaceful little fishing village where my kids go off and when they are responsible, they say, "Hey, what time do I need to be home?" And I tell them, and sometimes they're late, or sometimes like their phone dies or whatever. But like I have like lately there've been a lot of times where I'm like, I don't know where my kids are at the moment, and that's kind of wild
Well,
to
in general, and you probably know 3 or 4 places it's likely, but at their ages, I don't think that's exceptional at all.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
I
but
was
like,
8 years old when I was free to go
yeah,
with my
and,
older
but we've
brothers
had
wherever they
times
took me.
where one of my kids was late and we were at home and my wife was like, I'm going to go out looking.
Ah,
And I was just like, what? In what scenario
yeah, does that work?
does that help? Like, you're gonna find the kid, and the kid is like lying in a ditch bleeding, or like how? Like what? Like it's just you're gonna go out and be worried and be, maybe shouting their name or whatever, and the kid's just gonna come home at the time. Like, I don't know. It's a strange. It's one of those things
And one
where
response to that is I've got to do something.
you're right. That's the
And that
feeling.
in itself
That's
is
the feeling.
a purposeful release.
I need to do something, and so even
And
though
if that
this-
includes driving at dark in the rain,
Yeah.
or any other circumstance, I mean,
yeah,
then it's like, well, don't make matters worse. Now, then I'm going to wonder where the 2 of you are, and that makes no sense. So,
you're right. Like
You know.
that's happened several times where it's like,
if you feel better, let's go down to the entrance of the building and wait down there for a while.
as if getting into the building is going to be the weak point of the
No,
whole scenario.
as if that's doing something. You're moving. You're not leaving.
Yeah, and then you're down there waiting, and then you're not doing anything again, and then it's like, well, we need to be
Well,
doing
then you
more.
go back upstairs and see if there were any calls on
Yeah,
your landline.
it's
on your
such a-
landline phone
Right. So
with the tape
it's-
recorder.
It's such a like. I feel the. I understand the anxiety, but also I can't logically think that, like, because your kid is 30 minutes late to come home, you can't. What are you gonna do? Call the police? What are they gonna do? Like, you can't. It's just. It's a matter of trust.
The only
and
thing
then
you
when-
can do
and-
is tell them one of the reasons you hope it never happens again, if it's a result of a voluntary decision, such as, oh, traffic was bad. Well, of course, you should have planned on that. That's
Right.
not a good
And-
excuse.
And now we live
As
in a
opposed
different
to I had a
world.
flat tire.
Right, and now we live in a different world where like when I was a kid, and obviously when you were a kid, like you could not communicate remotely to your parents. Like
Right.
there were no walkie-talkies, there were no way of sending messages. So, but now, in theory, as long as your phone battery hasn't died, you can totally be like, "Hey, I'm going to be 20 minutes late" or whatever, with a text message.
Right.
But yeah, it's an interesting world. Being
So
modern
you
parent.
did. When was your 2-hour trip? Last weekend? This past weekend?
Saturday.
Well, let's see. I don't think that I have gone. Anyway, we had a great rehearsal. I finally have moved into a tablet that has an app that I've gotten that scrolls me the lyrics
Well
at a
done.
tempo I set in a print that's much better than the printed word, that attaches, of course, with a vise onto my mic stand.
Yep.
And we did something that we're proud of and so happy about, which is the lead guitarist, J-Dog, said, here's a list of music. It's in order of how I'd like to learn it. And so do what you can to move down the list. Well, when we got to practice, people were just saying, well, what do you want to do? And they would say out a name of a song, and we would do it. And somebody said, Born to be Wild. And we'd never played it before. We'd never even heard it together before. And the drummer just started tapping the tempo, and I came in and started singing the lyrics, and as soon as I did at the right particular point, the band came in, 2 guitarists and the bass. We played the entire song without error all the way through to the end.
On the first go.
On the first take. And there were no, for me, and I'm easy on this, no discernible quote-unquote mistakes.
Yeah.
But Justin, who's quite critical of these things in the most positive, in a positive sense, he's
Sure.
one who critiques. He said, holy fuck. That's pretty incredible. We never played it before. Plus, he said, which is funny, is he said, and we didn't even count it off, because he counts everything off. He's the Grand Meister. But what had happened was that Jimmy and I counted it off, and the rest of the band.
So what amazes me about this story is that you would go from a drum beat to starting to sing, and that you would be right on pitch.
Yeah.
Because for the guitars to then come in, they would have had to know the key.
Everybody knows.
You were singing
everybody was to learn not only that, of course, fundamental part of it,
but the fact that you started to sing.
Oh yeah.
An F or whatever, and
probably a C, but yeah. And
the guitarist was aware to play that, first of all, that you hit that frequency, but also that the guitarist was like, oh, I know that frequency. That's a C.
So here's the thing. Everybody but me learned the key and practiced the key in the song, in the key that the key was recorded. What I did was I just practiced singing it in that key, not particularly thinking of the key.
So you had practiced?
Huh?
You made it sound like...
Each of us individually had practiced, of course.
Okay.
He told us,
Yeah.
here's the list, learn them in this order. That was in the middle. So when somebody said it, Jimmy, who'd been practicing in his basement on his own, started tapping the beat, and I heard the point where, you just...
With the vocals.
The song starts with the lyrics. And of course, I would say, I sang it in the proper key, which everyone was real happy because they then played it in that same key, just like they had been hearing it.
Practicing,
and so all the 5 of us individually practicing, and imagine 2 guitarists, a bass player, a drummer, and a singer, a vocalist, and that all happened on the first take. That's crazy.
I'm amazed that, if I practiced singing a song in a particular key, and then later, hours or a day or 2 later, I heard the drum beat and I hit that exact note, I would be impressed with myself. But maybe that's the thing that you singer people just can nail.
Yeah.
Because, rather than starting with born to be, I might start with born, or I might go lower or higher or whatever, but it's
right. Well, as it turns out,
that's a skill.
We we launched into it. I mean, if I sing a song on air with you, it's going to be in the proper key that it was recorded in, because that's where I learned it, and it might even be in the right cadence. You know, and the thing about some of these songs is that the lyrics is different than the syncopation, and so in the case of Born to Be Wild, there's a line that requires you to sing the last line of the verse and the first word of the next verse as if it's in that line. And if you don't do that, you miss the beat.
Continue? Like what?
If you miss the beat, you can catch up, but there's going to be an obvious mistake.
Yeah, but what's the word?
And. Yeah. Which actually is if you've got a song that's got like way too many words, like some of them do. If there's an and in there, you can always skip that. So, wait, from the entertainment desk.
And I'm gonna make it happen. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
The entertainment desk. Hold on, I'm gonna make it happen.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
The world in a love embrace. All I want the children under. I don't know where it is. Anyway,
I just wanted to say that you weren't born to be flat. Like you're born to hit the fucking note.
I watched the second part of the Billy Joel documentary. Now,
I've heard about this.
Oh my!
I've heard about
word.
this from other people that are like super into Long Island lore.
Inspiring, absolutely inspiring. Inside the mind of a man. My favorite moment was in the probably within the last 20 minutes of the entire 3 hour or so, 5 hours worth of documentary.
Jesus.
He's sitting at the piano being interviewed, where it was interviewed constantly, and he started waving his hands around in front of his face like this, and he said, the thing that happens to me is that I get into some kind of an offbeat trance when I'm writing, and as stuff just pours out of me, and I'm in a state, and that's how it happens. And I thought, oh my God, what an insight, because the documentary, of course, is all about the music and how the music, much like you recall the episode where episodes where I talked about Tammy and George and how amazing it was from a songwriting perspective, how much the stuff that she wrote was just capturing a moment in her life and extraordinarily personal, I should say.
Sure.
And of course, not of course, but as it turns out, the actual same with Billy Joel, who at one point said in his career, I'm tired of this fight I have with myself of finding the right rhyme about what's going on in my life. I'm going to stop doing this because it's too much work. And when Pink, who was interviewed, she told the story where she asked him what of this stuff that he does, what's the most painful part of it, because you are a person that has pain. And he said, every moment that I'm trying to write is the most painful moment of my life. Something to that extent. And it just, you can't, I can barely fathom it. It's just so fascinating. And we're so fortunate to be able to get to hear from him and to understand from him in real time. Here's a man who in the third decade of his career, maybe the fourth decade of his career, he decides that he's going to be the band, the house band, from Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
And,
Isn't that crazy?
And it thinks that, as he says on camera, what a great idea my agent had. They talk about it. Maybe they could do as many as 6. And then after that, he said everybody, nobody else will be able to. I mean, the tickets will have all been sold to everybody that's ever going to come. He did 100 of those sold out in a row. He did it for 10 years.
Yeah, it's like the people that the performers that hole up in Vegas and just like have a show every night, and they do the same show every night.
Here's what a reviewer said.
But the fact that like he takes his helicopter into Madison Square Garden, performs his show, and then is like, okay, cool. Like
this is what one reviewer said.
$2 billion or whatever.
When you see older, iconic, even singers who are going to sing their old songs, you oftentimes imagine and almost wish that the singer was singing it as the younger person he was, because he's failing. You could see a current the latest Saturday Night Live of Paul Simon. And understand how challenging it can be. Of course, he lost his hearing for the longest time.
Or a Sinatra, or one of those.
And
people.
So this is what he said about Billy Joel. He said, Billy Joel, in many respects, wrote these songs, and they're better coming from him now. Coming from him at this age.
Yeah.
They're almost written for the older Billy Joel. Nobody else has that. Nobody.
Well, there was who's the artist that sings I've Seen Love from Both Sides Now? Joni Mitchell?
Sting?
No. Joni Mitchell.
Joni Mitchell.
I've Seen Love from Both Sides Now. Like, the fact that she wrote that when she was like 18 years old, and now she sings it when she's 78, is super ironic, but also like it fucking works, because the song is about about being young and in love and being old and in love, but she wrote it when she was young, and now she's singing it when she's old.
Well,
but yes,
the thing that's somewhat remarkable about him, and this was proven and then discussed, was that when he returned to the stage after some many years of being actually retired and marrying his 4th wife and having 2 young children, and as they got older, and then he did not perform and loved not performing and was very, very, very happy. Then Hurricane Sandy happened, and they called him and asked him if he would donate his time, and he showed up as overweight as I've ever seen him.
Sure, he got a little
chunky. The commentator was saying, as they showed Billy Joel sit at the piano, he was as nervous as he could be, and you could see Billy Joel for the first time in this entire documentary in a way that looked like he was nervous. And then he belted out his first song with his band that he'd been playing with for years, and he sounded exactly or better than he had sounded years and years earlier. And nobody knew
I hate people like that.
Including him. And so by the time he got done with these 4 songs, now here's the after effect, is that there were all these older guys doing this stuff, and a lot of the stuff that was said, social network information, a lot of the older guys got great reviews and bad reviews and trying to push it, trying to look younger, trying to do this. They said the only uniform performer the whole time who got nothing but kudos was Billy Joel. Everything was positive about him.
That's amazing.
Everyone. And that's when his manager said, well, I mean, if you're ready to come back, you sounded great. The manager, his agent, was interviewed so many times. It was great, and he said we couldn't fucking believe it, how good he sounded. We did not know, and neither
We thought
did
he was washed up. Yeah.
Neither did he. And so when he's interviewed years later at the piano, as he was in his older age now, and he said, I had walked away and I had a great time, and I thought, well, this is interesting. I still got some gas in my tank and I didn't even know it. Let's give it a try.
Yeah. I could totally sell out $1 million a week if I wanted to. Sure, let's do that.
Well, he must have played once a month at the Garden, right?
Yeah, it was
10 months a year.
Yeah. But I love that, like, all the poetic artists talk about that sensation of I don't know where it comes from. I just sit here and it comes out. And the best, every artist, like, their best song, they describe the writing in that way. It's never a labored thing. It's just like, it just pooped out of me. Like, it came from somewhere. Like that, and that's why, like, in the Greek myths, we have the concept of the muses that, like, are these gods that come and deliver stuff to you, and you don't really know where it came from. But that's like a universal phenomenon around artists, both with music and painting and, everything. Like, the artist is hard pressed to describe where the hell that idea came from. It's just like, I just started writing or playing or whatever, and it came out of me.
Well, he described a situation where his drinking was a bit out of control. He was married to Christy Brinkley. He was out at a bar drinking and came home on his motorcycle, and it started to rain, and he came in the house, and his wife was absolutely frantic and said that he was crazy. And
it's a nice callback to the previous I don't know where my kids are.
And he said, maybe that's why you married me. And he walked upstairs, and 20 minutes later he had completely written
River
I Must
Dreams.
Be Crazy. Bow down, 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 bow down, down, down.
Yeah.
I rode it down and down. I rode my motorcycle in the rain. Well, I know I'm being used, and I know to be confused. That it only proves that I must be insane. You may be right. You may be crazy. Oh, but it just might be a lunatic you're looking for. So he writes this, comes downstairs, she's pissed off, he's been drinking, whatever. The next clip they show is him playing that at his next concert.
Yeah.
Which is like, holy shit. Bob Dylan, I did quote Dylan, where I think I've probably done it twice, it bears repeating, where he's interviewed by Dan Rather, I believe it was, and Dan Rather, said, what about this writing? You really haven't written much since, blah, blah, blah. And he said, he quoted one of his early songs, and he and I should, in order to tell the story well, I should remember exactly which song it is. But anyway, when he got done quoting it, he looked at Dan Rather and he said, "Who writes that?
Yeah, that's
who can write that? I mean,
that's a young
man's mind. I don't know. I did. I can't do that now. I don't know how I did it then."
Yeah, but that's always true until you do again. Like, that's the Billy Joel story, is like, he doesn't know where it comes from, but then he gets into a state.
And then it happens. He
and then
did.
it happens, and he poops it out, and there it is.
He had a song that came to him that was just flashing headlines, and it was a call and response song, and it had a gospel overtone to it. And he had his melody in his head without any real words, and he tried making up some words. This was later in his career when he hadn't been writing for a while, and he couldn't. They showed a demo of him trying to sing it, and it didn't work very well. And then he was in the shower, and he was showering, and the song came to him, and he just yelled out to himself, to the effect of, okay, fine, I'll figure it out. He said, I had no choice but to write this song. And it's that song where Jackie Kennedy names, and those are all headlines. Names, and they show in the documentary the various newspapers as he's singing.
You're
with
not talking
the
about We Didn't
headlines
Start the
popping
Fire.
up. John Kennedy, Cuba, Mrs.
You're talking about We Didn't Start the Fire.
Talking what?
We Didn't Start the Fire.
Yes, We Didn't Start the Fire.
Yeah.
Yes, and turned into his biggest hit.
Yeah, that's his biggest song. Yeah.
His biggest hit. I think our band should do it. I love it.
So that's it. It's such an the way into art is so different for different people. Like, for example, Ed Sheeran, probably the best pop songwriter of the current generation. Like, he can write a fucking pop song and a catchy thing. He gets up every morning and goes into the studio and works from 9 to 5 in the studio, fucking trying to write songs. Like, it's a full-time job for him when he's not touring to go into the studio and write. And that feels totally different to these artist poet types where they're just like minding their business and getting drunk and like boom, a hit pops out. Like, it's like there's a difference. And Ed Sheeran will have more hits and will have more money in the end than Billy Joel, but like it's a different mindset of like, this is my, like, Ed Sheeran loves what he does, but also it's like, this is my job and I'm gonna fucking do it.
Yeah. Well, I may have told you I wrote like 4 or 5 songs a couple of weeks ago in a kind of I don't
flurry.
know, not an urgency, but because
a tizzy.
Huh?
A tizzy?
A tizzy fit. No, it was like a request that needed to be honored. Write some lyrics, write some songs. And so I thought, okay. So I got into a groove and I was able to create not just the song I wanted, but able to work through what they call the middle 16, which is kind of the chorus where you might go in a different direction during the song, a bridge into another level of a different beat even.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see what the band does with it. So far they haven't. I've heard a little bit back, but not much. But none of those were about me. Every one of them was like, one of them was a tune, a drinking man who gets fired from his job and he's all happy, shit.
But how does that come to you? Are you imagining people that you knew in your life?
No,
or I'm
imagining
creating
a typical
fiction
blues character. I'm imagining a typical blues character who's a working man who just loves to drink.
You're writing fiction.
And he's one of those guys, and he's the subject of a blues song, and he's shit canned, hot damn, now I can drink all day,
Yeah.
Shit
I think you sang that one
hot
to us.
damn,
Yes.
bam, bam.
Yeah.
And now I can drink all day. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum,
Yeah.
ba-bum,
You sang that 2
ba-bum,
episodes ago, yeah.
ba-bum, ba-dum, bum. Just, and that's, if we do, I ain't drunk, I'm just drinking, and that's the exact same thing,
Sure. Yeah.
Get with my friend, just, and so would sing the one that I wrote instead of that one, because, and in blues, it's not like you're ripping anybody off, because there's not that.
They're all the freaking same song. Yeah.
There's not that much,
Yeah.
But what's way cool about this new instrumentation that I got with this iPad is I can touch a button and go to every song that we've ever recorded and click on that, a picture of a piece of paper for a version of the lyrics, or a picture of a volume button to hear what we've recorded. And if I want to hear what's recorded and I press another tap, then the lyrics come up while it's playing to the cadence that's set.
Wow. That's perfect for you.
So and so good for rehearsal. If I want to sing along to myself because I got it right, or sing along to myself and correct any mistakes I made, I can do that. But if I want, I can shut the lyrics off so that I'm trying to remember the lyrics.
No shit.
More than that. I don't have the capability to shut my lyrics off in the song. I do have the capability to, with just 2 clicks, hear the recorded version of it, but then again, it's with the lyrics.
Right.
So occasionally, depending on the tune, you can find versions of the tunes with the vocals removed. In fact, I've got a Stevie Ray Vaughan CD that's the best of Stevie Ray Vaughan, and he doesn't sing in any of it.
Wow.
And it's a karaoke,
Sure. Yeah.
purpose.
It's made for that,
or
yeah.
for me. But it's rare to find that. I mean, with Dylan stuff, you can also get a vocalist to sing just the harmony that's necessary.
Right.
And you can find instructional videos, of course, on playing the harp. I had to learn, that I have learned to a pretty good extent, to play the Magic Dick harmonica opening on Centerfold, which he uses a giant fucking chromatic fucking harp that only Magic Dick can play. And so I've got a little blues harp in my hand. I do the best I can, but it's our version of it, and it's
So
closer to
you're-
his version of it than any other recordings that I listened to. But it's just so much fun to take what other folks have done and then kind of have your way with a little bit,
That's pretty cool that you can do that.
Yeah, we're doing so he'll give you an example of something that's been fun for me, and it's a struggle. Is "Hey Jude" by the Beatles,
Yeah.
obviously.
Lots of na-nas at the end.
Way back when, down in Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, I think is where it was. I may be wrong about that, but there's a recording
That's
studio.
what I was thinking.
And back in the day, there was one of the Allman Brothers, Dwayne Allman, I think it was, or maybe it was one of the other guitar players, hung out there hoping to get invited in because they needed a guitar player, and they finally invited him in. And there was Derek Trucks. And coming through town is Wilson Pickett. And so they make a recording of Wilson Pickett singing "Hey Jude." And they publish that.
Okay.
And so that's what I listen to when I practice. But when I sing it, I don't have the benefit of him singing in my ear. And what is in my head is Paul McCartney.
Okay.
And
I have found the clip of Wilson Pickett singing "Hey Jude" that I will put in the show notes.
And I hope I'm right about the guitar player.
Dwayne Allman, yes.
Was it Dwayne Allman? I thought maybe
Yes.
it was Derek Trucks was way too young
Yeah.
way back then.
They're all almonds. So I've got some entertainment desk news. I mean, let's not talk about politics and Scotland golf courses and whatnot. But so they just released Happy Gilmore 2. Have you heard about this?
Yes, and the most $54.7 million in 3 days, making it the highest grossing 3-day opening in the history of cinema. Am I right?
I don't know about that, but like, it's not about highest grossing because it's like just on Netflix. Like, I don't think it's in the cinemas.
No, it's
it will be. It will be in the cinemas.
It's released in theaters.
Yeah, but okay. Yes, but it's available on Netflix too, and I started watching
already.
It, right? Yeah. I started watching Happy Gilmore 2, and I got like 20% through it, and it was time for bed. I needed to go to bed, so I went to bed, and then the next night I went to go watch it, and Netflix said, "Hey, why don't you watch Happy Gilmore 1?" And I was like, I would understand all of these references better if I watched the first movie again. And it turns out I remembered so little about Happy Gilmore 1. Like, I did not, because this was like Ben Stiller was in that before I knew who the hell Ben Stiller was.
I don't remember that at all.
I didn't know who Ben Stiller was until like Something About Mary, which was much, much later. And also, it stars the. You familiar with Modern Family, the TV show?
Yeah, I think so.
The blonde wife in Modern Family
Was it young?
Was a 25-year-old in this and doesn't look anything like what she did in Modern Family, but it just all these younger people, and also which in most of these, the ones that are still alive, because not all of them are still alive.
Right,
30
including
fucking years later.
The guy who's married Tyler Moore's show, Ted, who's dead,
Sure.
silver-haired.
Okay.
Ted.
So all the people that are still alive are in the new one, but like in the old one, like he does this pro-am event where like he's the pro and there's the celebrity amateur, and the celebrity amateur is Bob Barker.
Yes, that's who I'm thinking of. My God.
And Bob Barker is himself, but like you think of Bob Barker and he's just like the nicest, kindest, like come on up, doopy doopy doo, and the way that they turn his character into this like this sort of jerk where like
and violent.
Like, they end up fighting and like rolling down a hill, and there's a fight, but like they do this they do the stunt doubling so fucking well. Like it's really good comedy. And what I also didn't realize is like one of the characters in the first movie is like Robert Siegel, who is like one of the most important writers in all of SNL. And
I don't know him.
Like he's not an actor, but like he has.
I don't know of him.
Yeah, but
as
like
a writer.
But like Conan O'Brien talks about him as like one of the best comedy writers. So anyway, so I haven't made it all the way through the second movie yet because I went back and I watched the first, and so I'm still halfway through the second. But it's just like just the shit taking out of golf, like, and this was like pre-Tiger Woods, right? It was like 1996. Tiger Woods wasn't like hadn't come and like revolutionized what pro golf is. Yeah. So it was still this like Mickelson super posh
Bernie Els.
Yeah, and so it's humorous to see that, and then of course in the second movie they have John Daly is kind of like a drunken neighbor bum who's just John Daly.
John Bailey? Oh, John Daly, right.
Yes.
Right.
He's just there as like this random dude. But also, like, in the second movie, they have all these golf pros. Like, they've got Fred Couples, they've got Jack Nicklaus is...
Oh, really?
Is in it. Like, they just, like, they were able to summon all of the top possible people. Right. And rather than a green jacket for the Masters, there's a gold jacket in this universe. But anyway, it's really well done and takes the piss out of golf in a beautiful way.
Yeah, cool. Well, I've been watching a lot of golf, as it turns out. I watched a good part of the 3M. I watched the British Open pretty much start to finish, but I record it so I can cut through, to no commercials and cut through different, parts of the day when scoring is clear. But goddamn, the guy that won the 3M Open was 23 under. It's
the fuck?
23 under. There was a 59 shot. It was the one dude coming in at the end had a bogey putt at the very end of his round, the only bogey putt he had the whole fucking tournament, if I got this right. And he would have come in with a 59. Instead, he came in with a 60.
Aw, loser.
Oh yeah, poor guy.
Fucking 60. Who shoots a 60? Jesus.
Fred Firk.
For Firk's sake.
For Firk's sake. I got a split, man. I got a tune for you.
All right. Cue us up. Hit it.
When I was just a little boy, standing on my daddy's knee, my papa said, son, don't let the man get you and do what he done to me. He'll get you now. And I can remember the 4th of July, standing by Backwood Bear. And I can still hear my hound dog barking, chasing down a hoodoo there. Oh, chasing down a hoodoo there. Oh, born on the bayou. Oh, born on the bayou. Born on the bayou. Born on the bayou, Lord, Lord. I wish I was back on the bayou, rolling with some Cajun queen. Wishing I was a fast freight train, just a chugging on down to New Orleans. Born on the bayou, oh yes. Born on the bayou. Oh, born on the bayou, do it. Oh, born on the bayou, yeah. I can remember the 4th of July, running through the Backwood Bear. I can still hear my hound dog barking, chasing down a hoodoo there, yeah. Chasing down a hoodoo there, oh yeah. Oh, born on the bayou, oh yeah. Oh, born on the bayou, oh, born on the bayou. All right, do it, yeah. Oh. Do da 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 ba da 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 bow bow ba da 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 ba bow bow bow. bam, 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 boom, bam, bam, chasing down a hoodoo there, yeah. Chasing down a hoodoo there, yeah. Chasing down a hoodoo there. Born on the bayou.
All right, that does it for episode number 257. You can find the show notes at happyhour.fm/257, including a link to that Hey Jude video that Dennis was talking about, as well as to the documentary about Billy Joel. You can support the show at patreon.com/happyhour. And I guess, see you next week.